British towns are thriving. Across the nation, our cities continue to grow with new homes and new businesses arriving every day. Growth creates new markets and opportunities stretching across the country and around the world, but it also creates challenges. In the UK, much of our infrastructure is decades old, built for the needs of another century. Exeter is no exception, a bustling city in the southwest undergoing unprecedented growth. This growth in population, however, can't be matched with more road capacity. In response, the Engage Smart Transport project was formed to help find new approaches to better fulfill Exeter's transport needs.
Over the next 20 or so years, we've got significant amounts of growth planned in the Exeter area. About 6,000 new houses right on the edge, another 10,000 just in East Devon. Will put huge amounts of pressure on the road network, which has got basically limited scope for additional capacity to be built. At the moment, we can see on our roads that in the mornings they're very busy. Queuing on most of our radial routes into the city. We've got a very narrow historic road network where you can't just widen it and provide additional capacity. We need to deliver more transport solutions. How do we get more people accessing the city centre? I think what we've seen in Exeter in the last few years is a real sort of booming economy and significant growth. We have to have a transport system that is fit for purpose and is able to keep pace with this growth in housing and people moving into the area.
Traffic presents a complex problem, with many contributing factors spread across Exeter. Solving it takes a deep understanding of where these problems come from and how they interact.
We, the County Council, don't have the skills or the expertise to take that initiative or the opportunities that this presents forward. And this is why I think collaborating with companies and using the University of Exeter from their behavioural research side, a great opportunity to use all of this data to develop innovative solutions.
The Engage Smart Transport Project, EST for short, has brought together a team of experts to begin collecting and analysing this data and to find innovative solutions to these transport challenges. NTT Data is leading this Innovate UK-funded R&D project, working in conjunction with Vaisala for real-time weather data, Black Swan for data science and analytics, Dynniq for intelligent transport systems which are currently being used by Devon and Exeter councils, the University of Exeter for behavioural research through engagement with local commuters.
The Engage Smart Transport project is a smart cities project in Exeter, working in partnership with a number of other organisations, really with the objective of building an end-to-end congestion management service that makes better use of the infrastructure that's already available to make the lives of citizens better, smoother traffic, less congestion, and really a smoother overall experience for the driver. We have overall responsibility for the project and the programme management, interfacing with the client, which in this case is Devon County Council and Exeter City Council, and pulling the partnership together and delivering the end-to-end solution. We can't just continue to build new roads and new railways. We have to be more intelligent about how we use the infrastructure we have, and really that comes down to data and technology solutions working in tandem with infrastructure. So smart cities as a market is set to grow almost double between 2015 and 2020, and really that just demonstrates how important the smart city space is.
Data is a powerful tool that can be put to work immediately. With a better understanding of how traffic flows, existing infrastructure can be better utilised, and resources focused on the most critical problems. Simply by sharing information about traffic patterns and alternative routes with local people, at the right time and in the right way, pressure can be taken off hotspots.
So my role in this project is to coordinate the social science component of the Engage Smart Transport research project, and really what we're aiming to do as part of that project is provide a lot of the supporting evidence for the research project. So we're trying to do that in two ways. Firstly, we're really interested in understanding a lot more about what we call real-time decision making for people when they're making their decisions about how they commute to work or to study. In the social science literature, we know a lot about how people might make what we call pre-formed decisions, so how they think about their travel decisions in the much longer term. But we know much less about how they make them on the morning that they're deciding how they're going to commute to work.
We've got a very multimodal approach, trying to get more people travelling more sustainably. We were very quick to take advantage of government funding to deliver a new cycle bridge over the motorway, to get planning with the new railway station, delivering new significant strategic junctions at junction 29 of the M5 and other bypasses well before they're needed, which has allowed growth to continue. What that's showing is that it's meaning we're able to get people to adapt their travel behaviour at the earliest opportunity, so they are less reliant on the car to travel into the city. We've been investing in the bus network, so we've got new bus routes travelling into the city. And we're also building upon the work that we did from 2006 to 2010 through the Cycle Demonstration Town project to improve cycling in the cities. But there's a limit to how many people will actually be able to do that. There will still be demand for traffic.
Smart traffic management solutions are incredibly important. We live in an age where there's increasingly less funding for technology and for infrastructure. And really, smart cities is one of the answers to growth and urbanisation. Urbanisation is happening at an increasing pace. By 2050, we expect 70% of the world's population to live in cities. The objectives of the project are to improve Exeter's quality of life through making better use of the infrastructure they already have from a transport perspective. And we'll be looking at actually building an end-to-end congestion management service in Exeter that will be taking broader into the market.
So this project is a really exciting opportunity to take advantage of the advances in technology. The great advantage to us as a county council is that we have limited resources, limited expertise and limited funding to develop some of these more innovative solutions. This is clearly a great example where we've got some of the country and world's leading technical experts who are coming together to identify some solutions using data analytics to develop a solution that will solve some of our challenges with managing congestion.
Dynniq's role within the EST project is to make best use of the existing technology assets that we maintain on behalf of Devon County Council and Exeter City Council at the moment. So that's traffic signals and all the infrastructure that goes around that. Over the past year, we've integrated a tool called Strategy Supervisor, which we will be using through the EST project. This effectively enables operators to take a drag and drop, easy to use approach to integrated strategies. So whether that's at this level of traffic and under these weather conditions, I want to implement this traffic signal strategy complemented by these variable mesh signs. That can be programmed and set up very easily and very quickly using the Strategy Supervisor. If we want to go a step further and think about the layer on top of that, which actually enables local authorities to determine which strategies they should actually deploy, how they design an integrated strategy, when they should deploy it, and what brings the most benefits to the city in terms of reducing congestion.
We're working with our partners in Japan, NTT Data R&D, and they have been building technology for the last couple of years, which is looking at how can we optimise and operate traffic lights on a broader scale, broader geographic scale, using real-time data like GPS data. So we don't need the physical infrastructure, we just need the traffic lights to be connected up, and then the simulation does the rest. So at the moment, We have infrastructure that is hard built into the roads, inductive loops, processors in cabinets by the road, and all of that is linked back to a central command and control system. The system that our colleagues, that we're building with our colleagues in Japan is a big data, real-time simulation system run in the cloud to optimise traffic lights on a broader scale.
What we've seen within transportation recently, I think, is that weather has been slightly overlooked in terms of how it's been used in modelling. We all know that weather has an effect on transportation, but what we're hoping from this project is to work out how we can integrate more formally weather data with transportation modelling to help us actually achieve better congestion figures, lower pollution, and all of the benefits that a free-flowing traffic transport system will have.
So there's quite a lot of research that suggests that in real time there are quite complex relationships between weather conditions and the way that people make travel decisions. But the difficulty with the research that we have at the moment is that in large part it's quite sporadic, much of it is anecdotal in nature, and it hasn't been backed up by scientific data sets. So much of the research is simply based on social science and the ways in which people report their attitudes towards weather conditions. Now, what we're interested in doing in this project is linking the findings that we will get from the social science survey that we're undertaking on how weather might influence people's travel decision making on the one hand, but also then collecting data from our weather stations along key routes into the city and other existing data sets and link that to traffic flows.
The weather station data that we have, actually we have sensors on there that measure all sorts of different parameters, each one very much specific for a particular weather parameter. So for instance, we have one sensor that looks after air temperature, humidity and dew point, another one that looks after wind speed and direction, and so on and so forth, right through the whole range of things that you could even, you can think of that need to be measured. They are being measured by the weather stations that we're putting out on the project's network.
We've got a brilliant opportunity with Exeter and Devon county councils where they've been very intelligent in terms of how they've procured this project and other projects that we're working with in the transport space. It really has to be about outcomes and it has to be about sharing those outcomes with your partner and your partner absolutely sharing those outcomes with your client.
A city the size of Exeter sees tens of thousands of cars on the road every day, and improving their flow is a huge undertaking. Achieving positive results demands multiple skills that no one group can fulfill. To ensure success, the Engage Smart Transport project is bringing together proven expertise, local government, and the local people to help find solutions that work for everyone.
We believe that the multidisciplinary approach is absolutely key to the success of any project like this. No one company has all of the skills in-house, and it's becoming increasingly important to work with startups, to work with higher education, to work with commercial partners as well as public sector clients in collaboration in order to deliver all of those key high-level skills into one project or programme.
The exchange of data as being primary to success in actually getting traffic management and traffic flows, modal choice decisions understood and made, which means you have to be able to exchange data. So in the past we've seen local systems built up that just keep data within a certain environment. That really isn't going to work in the future, I don't think. You have to get out into sort of more cloud-based, freely able to exchange data. It's not necessarily that means that data would be free. Let's be honest, because content to this world does have a cost associated with it, and somewhere that cost has got to be covered. But it means that those partners that are engaged should be able to use that data quickly and efficiently, and really the best place at the moment for that is cloud-based.
So the core of our technology contribution to the EST project is our ImCity common database and central management system. So ImCity is a system which will take data from all of the different intelligent transport system assets used within a city environment. So whether that's traffic signals or variable message signs or automatic number plate recognition, CCTV, environmental monitoring, whatever it is you're using out there to monitor and manage traffic on a network. All of those systems are brought into one system, one common database, which is ImCity.
I think it's really important that systems are interconnected and talk to each other. I think local authorities have got a track record of delivering new infrastructure. So we will provide new stations, provide new bus routes, we will provide new cycle routes, but we don't necessarily know what or how aware people are of these things and how people are interacting with these. We provide this data, but often it's challenging. How do you get people to actually use these new facilities?
Exeter is the ideal smart transport proving ground for a data-driven approach to generating solutions, managing traffic and engaging local citizens that should provide benefits for the city as a whole. The lessons learned in Exeter will continue to pay dividends for decades to come and will contribute to similar successes across the UK.
I think the advantage of planning long-term for infrastructure, and that may be the physical stuff or the smarter stuff that we're talking about with this project, it's good to have a plan because we can start developing the solutions early. Funding is challenging, and the success in Exeter and the wider area has been built on having a long-term plan and multimodal strategy.
Well, our long-term plan for getting information from people and to people to enable them to make better travel decisions is really about having a conversation with people about what they would like Exeter to look like in the future in terms of traffic and transport. And that means upending our kind of traditional orthodox approach to talking to people, which has conventionally been about saying, we are the experts, we have lots of information, we're just going to give it to you and expect you to do the right thing. Our approach is about saying we all have a shared goal, which is to reduce traffic congestion in Exeter and make Exeter a better and cleaner place to live. So how do we go about that? And our approach is to recognise that there are going to be different groups in the population who travel to work or study in different ways, they have different motivations. And for each of those groups that we're going to identify through our survey, it's about having a conversation with those groups about what they think is the most effective way to reduce traffic congestion. So it's a collaborative approach, it's a co-productive approach, rather than being a top-down approach.
Ownership of data is a barrier. There are obviously costs associated with collecting, storing and making data available in real time. And that goes to some of the commercial challenges that we'll face in the industry in coming years. But data ownership is very much a current challenge. How do we actually change the models, the commercial models that we have around who owns the data and how do we value that data? That's very much what this project is looking to figure out essentially.
And the innovations we've brought at the University of Exeter have really been connected to something that we call social marketing. So understanding how we can provide positive messages for change, but to particular segments or target audiences in the population. Understanding that not everybody's the same. If you do a media campaign, not everybody's going to receive that information in the same way. Not everybody is motivated in the same way to travel in particular ways. So our innovation has been to say, how can we think about positive change? And the way that we've undertaken that recently at the university is to talk about knowledge co-production and campaign co-creation, working really intensively with people in particular areas to help them understand their own travel behaviour problems and help them come up with their own solutions. Because so much of the ways in which we've tried to get people to change their behaviour in the past has been about negativity. Stop doing this, stop doing that. Our approach is to say, how can we enable you to do something through engaging you in a conversation?
We believe that the industry can be a lot more agile through collaboration. So collaboration, it's about relationships and it's about objectives and outcomes for clients. And what we really need to be looking to do is collaboratively, as an industry, flattening out those data standards, making data open, because the value in data is not just the data itself, it's what you can actually do with it. And innovation comes from when you can actually play with the data and see what's happening that you might not have been able to see before. And that creates a new competitive landscape. So we'll be testing in 2016 and 2017, and we'll be looking to actually change things on the road. So it could be different signal timings, it could be different messaging through variable message signs, it could even be marketing campaigns to help people to know what the options are in terms of their transport. And really we'll be looking to monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of whatever it is we change on the road in round one, and then we can actually test new things and things that we've tested before, tweaking them to see how successful they are.
So what we're hoping from this project is not just to find the way that the Exeter commuter behaves under certain conditions and how we can help them to get a better journey into wherever they're going. What we're also hoping to do is to get a process of how we go through getting to that point that is then repeatable elsewhere. So we take the process, take it to another city, the results will be different because the weather's different, the way people behave is different in different locations geographically. But the process of getting to that point could be the same. And so what we're hoping here is that we will actually develop a process of engaging with the local commuter in any location, be that in the UK or anywhere else internationally, and then actually deliver the same kind of benefits as that we're hoping to see for the Exeter traveller.
All of us in the city of Exeter and many other cities around the country want to reduce our traffic congestion. The real question is how we go about doing that. And we think the most effective way to do that is to have a positive conversation with people about how together we could change our travel behaviours. And for us, that's about saying there are going to be different groups within Exeter who commute to work or to study, and it's about saying how can we have a conversation with each of those groups to enable them to come up with their own solutions for reducing the amount they travel or travelling in different ways.
The EST project can be used as a springboard to alleviate congestion nationally by focusing on Exeter as a test bed for a lot of the interventions we're going to be rolling out through this project, as well as the wider model that we're using itself. Exeter is a good size, is a proactive city, and has the right sort of demographic mix to be a good representative city for the rest of the UK and even into Europe as well.
So essentially this is about building a framework for understanding travel behaviour, traffic congestion and transport problems, and enabling other communities to take what we've done and apply it in their own setting. The real question is how we go about doing that. And we think the most effective way to do that is to have a positive conversation with people about how together we can change our travel behaviours.
Engage Smart Transport project is really an opportunity for us to bring not just our UK smart transport expertise to the table, but also the work that we've been doing in Japan through our R&D team to actually test and develop some of the capability we've been building together around smart transport solutions. So this really is an international collaboration, not just a UK collaboration. Part of the excitement around this for us is actually being able to potentially commercialise some of the research that we've been doing as a company, and to bring smart transport solutions to the UK from an international perspective.